So there is probably no way that you could properly see me. Yeah, you can see me all right, but I can't see anything because I'm looking into my headlights. I drove all the way out here because it was clear at sunset, and I was hoping it was going to be clear now. It is not clear now. It is in fact completely overcast and foggy right now. It's fog banks sitting on the rivers. Where I am now is a little bit away from the river, so no fog, but it's completely overcast. And I was hoping to do Astro tonight, some deep sky. That's not happening. So I am going to drive around on these dirt roads and see if I can find some cool vignette composition thing. I don't know what I'm looking for. First image of the night is a little abstract vignette with a lone tree. Probably need to pan down just a bit and get a little bit more of that ground in there. But overall, I really like it. I like the kind of ethereal glow that it has to it. I'll probably bring down that ISO. Instead of 5,000, I'll shoot at 3,400 and lengthen out that the exposure time a bit. Probably like closer to a minute and a half, something like that. Oh, I've taken a bunch more frames, fixed my focus. I have a little bit of a little bit of red grass sticking up, and I think that's that grass right there. But I generally love this composition. I like the lone tree. I like the dual kind of areas of light behind it, one on either side. I think it's a neat composition. I like the texture in the clouds. I also have this one a little bit tighter. The first one was shot at 70. This one was shot at somewhere close to 100. Probably shooting at about 80, 90, something like that. And then I have a couple of them that are really close up like this. Once I get into post, we'll see which one I like. You can see my battery's pretty low right now. I have another battery, but we'll see if I need it or not. Okay, so I was driving down this road. I looked over to the side, and you probably can't see it. I even can't see it now because there's suddenly trees. But there's the stars are out. The clouds have cleared for at least nice ruts. The clouds have cleared at least for a little bit, so I'm gonna make my way back to my original spot, and I'm gonna try and shoot some Astro. I don't know how long this is gonna last though, so we will see. So y'all very likely can't see them, but the stars are out. You can see a couple in this direction. And I have swapped my lens out for a 50 millimeter, but it is a 50 millimeter macro. The reason I grabbed this lens is A, because it's my only 50 millimeter, and B, because it opens up to f1.8. Opens up super wide. I can grab a whole lot of light at the same time. So I'm just gonna play around with it and see what I can shoot. One thing I want to note is that the temperature just tanked. So I'm wondering if we just now had a cold front come through. I actually haven't been paying attention to the weather recently. Just kind of forecasting on the spot. That's really interesting, actually. I want to see. I gotta fix that that color balance. That white balance is awful. I don't even know what I want. I'm gonna go with auto. That ISO. I'm gonna take down to like 2,500 and shoot. We're gonna sit here and wait and see what happens. So So the exposure just finished. Let's see what it looks like. It's actually pretty interesting looking. I'm gonna actually pan the camera down till I see the horizon. I'm gonna put those buildings right on that kind of halfway in between the third marking and the bottom of the frame. I don't know why. It just looks theoretically visually pleasing to me. So I'm not gonna check balance or like horizontal level or anything. I can do that in post. If this composition doesn't work, I'll switch it out for the 18 millimeter. And another 30 seconds, but it's gonna be about a half second for you. Finished again. Let's see. So it looks like it looks blown out. It's not actually blown out. Let me. That's more of what it looks like on my camera screen. These right here are blown out. This over here is not. Oh, let me try and take a second exposure. I think this cloud deck is still just a bit too thick. I need to get above it just a little bit more. So I'm actually going to pull out the 18 in just a second. Sorry, there is something in these bushes over here, and I don't know what it is. There's something in there, and I don't know what it is. It also doesn't really matter, though. Set up for pretty much the same photo. Come on, focus. All right. I've set up for pretty much the same photo, just on the 18 millimeter. If my camera wouldn't just do that. I'm gonna just pan up and squish that horizon a little bit. I don't really care about the horizon in this photo. And then I am going to check my focus. Just with these houses down here, it already looks good, but just gonna make sure. There we go. It looks like that's probably the best focus I'm gonna get. And we're gonna take the photo. So you can't tell. I haven't even looked at the photo yet, but I can tell you that the amount of time that it took me to put those, that 18 millimeter on my camera, the clouds have almost completely filled back in. So if I swap this out, that's my end result, is just clouds. And I don't know, I can't see any stars in the sky anymore. So I'm just gonna wait for another gap in the clouds, hopefully, maybe. I'm just gonna leave my camera here and see what happens. Because that's a little bit disappointing. What do you do when waiting for clouds to clear? You make very labor-intensive hot chocolate. Tis what you do. I can see stars in the right direction, which means it's time to try this again. I'm gonna take the exact same photo. I didn't move the camera or anything, so there's no reason to even move it. Ooh, I like the contrast there. That's hard for you to see. But I really like that. I'm gonna take a couple more, see what I can do. Maybe turn it portrait. See if I can squish down that horizon a little bit, get the stars that are more directly above. So I have turned my camera into portrait. It's a whole pain to do. I have to turn the plate sideways and then Yeah, it's a pain. But I think I'm happy with the composition. Can't really see it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the shot. Turn the headlamp off. Just leave it. I'm going to go get a sip of hot chocolate. It has completely clouded back over again. So it is back to my waiting game. It's really becoming a thing, isn't it? So it's the next morning. I really didn't have the energy to really finish up that video in a good way. I did a little bit of post-processing last night after I got back in the van. I'm pretty happy with how the photos turned out. Not my favorite photos by a long ways, but I didn't ever expect them to be going out to a place I've been a million times. It's not exactly spectacular, just a bunch of fields. So, you know, I can't complain about it. I like how they turned out. Here's them. So, those are the only two images that I really ended up liking from the video and from that entire night. That lone tree photo, I'm just a sucker for lone trees. I don't know what it is. Lonely trees are freaking awesome. And I really like that orange, that air glow, or I say air glow, it's not air glow. It's that light pollution shining on the clouds in the background and that texture that it gives. I really like that image. It's not a portfolio piece, but it's definitely something that I can play around with in Photoshop and be creative with. Moving on from that, the other photo that I got, the portrait, kind of starscape that I got, I like it. I don't like the fact that the horizon is completely black. I don't like the fact that there is no foreground interest, but I think there's enough interest in the texture of the clouds and the stars there and the contrast in between the really, really warm tones and the cool tones. I think that is a compelling enough image. Yet again, not a portfolio piece, but something that I can play around with and use as a practice piece. I do also, I think the next video, I'm going to announce the Patreon giveaway, and then the next photo, and then in that same video, I have a couple more announcements that I'm going to make, and that'll probably be a completely separate, short, just kind of announcement and update video that I'll put out in a little bit. I wanted to apologize for not putting out a lot of content recently. It's been slow. I haven't been able to get out that much, and I haven't felt the drive and motivation that I have, that I did this spring, because it's not storm season. There hadn't been much to photograph at all. I missed most of fall colors already, so I've been just kind of chilling and working my day job. So hopefully I have some announcements with that, though. That'll come up soon. I'll see y'all around.